Hey guys, welcome back to Tony's Underwater World. Today we are at Morrison Springs, just south of Ponce de Leon, Florida, in Walton County. Before we begin, I want to stress that diving in any overhead, cavern, or cave environment without the proper certification and training can be extremely dangerous and is not advised for anybody without this type of training. As you can see, this is a very popular dive site just because the spring basin is completely clear and all the fish from the river just swim right into it because the water's so clear so they can feed. The reason the water in this basin is so clear is because the mouth of the spring, believe it or not, shoots out 48 million gallons of crystal clear water every single day. The main attraction for this dive site right here lies right underneath that big orange buoy out there. It's the actual mouth of the spring. This spring was blasted back in the late 60s because the cave system went down to about 300 feet deep and divers kept going in there and would get lost and they would pass. So in 1969, the local county came out here and blasted the cave system to where it's just a cavern dive with a depth of about 90 feet. Alright, well it's about 92 degrees outside and that water is 68 degrees, so we're getting in the water. We will start this episode with a quick look around the spring basin. This basin is 240 feet across. The fish swim into this basin to rest and to feed. We soon run into a class of open water divers on their checkout dive. After today, this group will be certified divers and will start their own underwater journey. This is the mouth of the spring. We found a half-eaten fish at the beginning. A brief reminder that even though the water is clear, alligators reside a few hundred yards away in the river. That small hole at the bottom is where the cavern area starts. At the opening, we find this little guy. He seems to be trying to enter, but the water flow is a little bit too much for him. This is the sign at the entrance of every cavern area warning untrained divers of the dangers of diving further than their training permits. As always, we stop for one last look to the entrance before descending farther into the wonders below. This little guy is a freshwater eel. They are found in this area because of all of the hiding places in the Swiss cheese-like rock formed by these springs. They preferred the dark, cool water of northwest Florida. After a bit of filming, he became very curious of the camera equipment and decided to investigate. Here you can see a marbling effect on the wall. This is formed from layers of rock over thousands of years. Down near the bottom, a decent-sized catfish comes out to see why we're invading his territory. Here is a small clip of me attempting to look in the main spring. A previous diver here lost his GoPro camera equipment and we were helping him try to recover it. After the recovery effort, we decide it's time to move on, and Torres decides to make a small appearance. Here I point out another huge group of small eel. Across the bottom and secured to the wall of the cavern is a large chain. Divers like to hold on to this chain while hanging over the main spring so they can feel the immense pressure of the water coming out of the ground. This is the main spring. This is the rubble caused by the blasting of 1969. All 48 million gallons of water push through this hole every single day. The flow of the water is so fast that this little catfish is having a hard time swimming straight. This unique feature is caused by water flowing through very heavy, coarse sand. The sand is blown up and sinks back into place, causing a bubble-like effect. Here we find a small side passage near the mouth of the cavern. Fish gather in here since there is no current to fight, so they can rest.
There's even a little cove in here. Alright, back in the water.
Along the floor and walls of this passage, we can see diver graffiti. This adds a little uniqueness to the passage, however is not advised since it can greatly harm the cave environment and takes away from the natural beauty of these systems. One of my favorite parts of these dives is the beauty that you encounter upon exiting the cavern. With the water being so clear, it's very easy to forget how deep you can actually be. That is, unless you just sit and watch the bubbles rise to the surface. Before returning to the surface, we decide to take one more look around the basin of the spring. I want to thank you again for tuning in to Tony's Underwater World. If you would like to donate to our project and these videos, feel free to click the link in the description below. Every dollar helps and will help us to continue to make these videos and to bring you to these spectacular locations. We hope to see you next time and have a great day.